has a website that shows SQL, M-code, DAX, everything. The guy is scary in what he knows. He's a former MVP, now a project manager at Microsoft, and now here in the Excel world. Why is he here? Because he has the power.
All right. Hello, everybody. I feel a bit out of place here because I'm not an Excel person. I don't work for the Excel team. I work for the Fabric team. I work on the Fabric customer advisory team. Now, I am an Excel fan. I've been playing around with Excel for a good 20-odd years. And I'm certainly a Power BI fan. I'm now a Fabric fan. And what I want to do today is talk to you about Excel and Power BI and Fabric, and about how they all work together. Because I'm not one of those people who's here to take your Excel away. You know, in my industry, in the kind of business intelligence and reporting industry, you've met those people. You've met those people who say, Excel is terrible. We need to get rid of Excel. You know, you people are not allowed to play with Excel because you cause trouble. What I'm here to do is to sell you more Excel, to show you the cool stuff in Excel that you can do with Fabric, and show you how you can take your Excel skills and transfer them into Fabric as well. But, you know, like I said, I'm not an Excel person, but let me ask you a question. Apart from the people on the front row and maybe the people on the second row, who here has a job title that is Excel person? Anybody? No, I didn't think so. You've all got real jobs, haven't you? You're all accountants and finance people and things. And, you know, as such, I'm sure Excel is the main tool you use, but we all use multiple tools to get our jobs done, don't we? Some people here, hopefully, use Power BI. Anybody use Power BI here? Oh, that's good. That's good to see. That's good to see. Some people might be, you know, the cool kids might be writing Python. Maybe less cool kids are using R. You know, you might write some SQL as well. Does anybody do anything with Fabric here? Well, that's good to see. I'm here to kind of get you excited about Fabric as well. And like I said, I work for Microsoft, so I really hope you're going to be using Copilot. There will be a little bit of Copilot here as well today. But the first point that I want to make, and this is, I think, one of the keys to the success of Power BI, is that Power BI and Excel have got a lot in common. They share a lot of DNA. Who likes Venn diagrams? This is the kind of, this is the audience that, you know, should like Venn diagrams. I like Venn diagrams. I'm not a visual person, but I like Venn diagrams. So let's take Excel and let's take Power BI. What are the things they've got in common? Well, they've got Power Pivot and Power Query. So Power Query is in Excel. Power Query is in Power BI. Power Pivot first appeared in Excel. That engine is the same engine that you've got in Power BI. So indeed, if we go and do a demo, so if we do some things in Excel we've been able to do for a very long time, you know, I can use Power Query in Excel, and the whole thing here is that I sell fruit. You know, I've got some fruit that I've been selling, and I've got some comments about that fruit. And, you know, in Power Query in Excel, I can connect to that table of comments written by some of my customers, and I can load that data into Excel. But, you know, we've been able to do that for a very long time. I've been able to load that data onto a worksheet, or I've been able to load that data into the Excel data model, aka Power Pivot, and there we are. I can look at my table of data in Power Pivot, And indeed, I can define my calculations and count the number of comments and do things like that. And, here, once I've done that, I can create a pivot table connected to that data. And if you've used Power BI, here I am in Power BI Desktop. I'm going to transform the data. And there is exactly the same Power Query experience with exactly the same Power Query query connecting to exactly the same data, loading the data into Power BI. I can define exactly the same calculation to count my comments. And, here I can build my Power BI report. So, what have we learned? We have learned that once you know Power Query and Power Pivot in Excel, you know how to use probably 80% of the most important functionality in Power BI. And you can just download and install Power BI Desktop and start playing around with it. And this, I think, is one of the main reasons why Power BI has got so popular over the years. And it's also, I think, one of the reasons that we continue to grow, because there is a huge, huge market of Excel people out there who, like using Excel, don't want to be taken away from Excel, but sometimes want to be able to build and publish and schedule those nice visual reports that you can build in Power BI. Now, those things that I've shown you, you've been able to do for a long time, probably 15 years or so, some of those things. So this is not new. This is not something I should be talking to you about at a conference. What we need to talk about, and what I want to get you excited about, is Fabric. Now, Fabric needs some explaining. I won't ask, apart from the two people here who are using Fabric, who knows what Fabric is, because I'm going to try and explain Fabric to you. And the easiest way I know of to try to explain Fabric is to kind of make some comparisons. So, we all know what Power BI is. What is Fabric? Power BI is to Fabric as Excel is to, I'm going to get in trouble with the branding police here, because I was about to say Office. And of course, we shouldn't really say Office. I'm not really sure what we should say nowadays, but I think it's Microsoft 365 apps. Excel MVPs, is this the right term? I was going to say Copilot. Is it Copilot, really? That would be even more confusing. You know what I mean when I say Office. So, what happened with Excel and Office? Once upon a time, we saw Excel was a standalone thing. And then some point, I believe in the 1990s, maybe stop me if I'm wrong, some very intelligent person at Microsoft said, well, all these people who are buying Excel and Word, they're all the same type of person. So why don't we bundle all these things together in one package, and we'll sell it to them as one package, as Office. So you don't need to go away and buy a separate spreadsheet and word processor and slideshow thing, whatever PowerPoint is. You just buy one thing. It's all right. It's not a PowerPoint conference, isn't it? You just buy one thing and be done with it. And it's not just a commercial package, is it, Office? Because if you know how to use the ribbon in Excel and you want to make your text bold, you go into Word and you click the same button. It's in the same place. It all works together. You save your files to OneDrive, and they're all in one place. So it's not just a commercial thing. Part of the success of Office is that you learn one tool, and you know 80% of how to use all of these other tools. They're all familiar. It's all the same user interface. And this is what we want to do with Power BI. So Power BI is incredibly successful It's growing a lot. But we know that people want to do more things with data than just build reports. Because somewhere upstream from that data you build your reports, you need to extract that data from your source systems. You need to be able to clean it up and transform it. You want to be able to analyze it in lots of different ways rather than just building a simple Power BI report. So Power BI is to Fabric in a kind of similar way as Excel is to Office. It is just an expansion. It's also a way of creating a single integrated package for everything that everybody wants to do with data. Simple and combined in terms of commercial, but also where you store your data and how you interact with that data. The user interface, the concepts, they're all familiar. Hopefully, that explains the relationship with Power BI to Fabric. If that didn't work, I've got another comparison. I think we all know, if you don't know what Office is, you know what a Happy Meal is. And you know that even though healthy options are available with a Happy Meal, you can't really get away without having those fries with your Happy Meal. So Power BI is the fries to Fabric's Happy Meal. That is actually a real commercial term, a Happy Meal product. That's what Fabric is. It's a whole bundle of good things all together. Now, the obligatory, complicated, scary slide. This is what we have in the Fabric platform. We've got Power BI on the far right-hand side. We, of course, have some AI built in. We have OneLake. And the way we describe OneLake in Fabric is that it's like OneDrive for data. You know, you should save all of your Office files to OneDrive. You work with data in tables in Fabric stored in OneLake. Everything in Fabric writes to OneLake. Everything in Fabric reads data from OneLake. All the data in OneLake is stored in a single, consistent format. We've also got all of these other engines here. We've got a high-performance data warehouse. We've got Spark. We've got Python. We've got all kinds of other stuff there. Some of those things you might be interested in. Some of them you might not be interested in. But what I wanted to do now is to show you the things that are interesting from an Excel person's point of view. From somebody who kind of like knows Excel, knows a bit of Power BI, why should you be excited about Fabric? Because, again, Excel and Fabric share some DNA. There are things in Fabric that will be familiar to you as an Excel person. And also, Excel is evolving. There are new things in Excel that you may not have seen that make it easier for you to extract data from Fabric and use it inside your workbooks. Because Fabric loves Excel. All right, now we will not do that. And let me go to my browser. All right. Here I have a workspace in the browser. This is a workspace. If you're familiar with Power BI and a workspace, this is a workspace. You know, it's the same thing. We call it Fabric rather than just Power BI in the cloud now. And there are a number of things here that I've prepared that I can show you. First of all, there are a lot of different ways that I can extract and transform my data in Fabric. But what I've got here is a data flow Gen 2. Sounds scary? It's not scary because guess what? It's just Power Query in the cloud. And if you know how to use Power Query in Excel, if you know how to use Power Query in Power BI Desktop, you know how to use Data Flows Gen 2. It will output its data into OneLake. There are some cool new things here that will make Data Flows Gen 2 probably go a lot faster than they go on in Excel on your desktop. And we've got some other things here like Copilot built in, which I won't show. But this is basically the Power Query interface you're familiar with. And it allows you to load this table of data into OneLake. So here we are in OneLake. I can see my table of data. I can view it here. And when that table of data is in OneLake, I can interact with it in a number of different ways. If I like writing Python, I can create a notebook and I can query that data in code. If I like writing SQL, I can, without even doing anything, go to the SQL endpoint, write a select star from that table, and get that data back. And when the data is there in OneLake, I can build a Power BI semantic model from that data directly here in the browser without even installing Power BI Desktop. Because some of you out there may be Apple Mac users, and we know the pain that you have with trying to use Power BI Desktop on a Mac. You don't need desktop anymore. You can do everything in the browser now, pretty much. So you can build your semantic models. You can build your data flows using Power Query. We've also got some cool stuff in Excel. Let's open up a new workbook and create a new blank workbook. Where's my... mouse pointer has disappeared. That is probably because... yeah, it's PowerPoint, isn't it? Let's kill that. All right, that worked. That's good. All right, so we want to get some data into Excel. I can go to Get Data, and from Fabric and Power Platform, look, there are some Fabric things here. We're going to go to Power BI first of all. So I'm going to go Get Data from Fabric and Power BI from Power BI. And I've published my semantic model. I'm going to be able to see all of the semantic models here. I can go and search for fruit sales model and connect to it and insert a pivot table. This is not very exciting. You probably knew that you can connect a pivot table up to a published semantic model and query it. All right. Okay, it's working over there. So it's not me. There we go, there we go. So I can build my pivot table, connect it up to a published semantic model, and get my data like that. That works. But also, and this may be something you've not seen before, we have this insert table option, because sometimes you don't want a pivot table, sometimes you want a table. And I can insert a table here and drag and drop and say, let's look at customer name and comment count and insert that table. And there we go. We've got a table of data there. So, new in Power BI, in Excel on the desktop. But there are more things that I want to show. You might have noticed, if you were looking at that table of the data, some of the data was a bit dirty. There was some mistakes in it. It's customer entered data. We want to fix that. I could fix that in Power Query. Let's not fix that in Power Query, but let's get the data into Excel. So I'm going to create a new Excel workbook in the browser, Excel Online. And for all you Power Query fans, if I go to the Data tab here, you can see that I've now got Get Data. And if I go to Get Data and Get Data here, I have got pretty much full-featured Power Query, able to connect to lots of different data sources here in Excel Online. You can see here that I've got something that tells me my recent stuff. Let's go to View More Sources, you will see that I can filter them specifically to fabric sources. I'm going to go to a lake house, click Next. Search for my lake house that I was showing you earlier. Go and get that table of data. There we go. And I could click to transform this data and use all of my Power Query functionality here in the browser. You'll have to trust me. It'll come in a moment. There we go. But I'm going to close and load this. To a table here. There we go. I've now connected my table in Excel Online to a table in OneLake. And let's finally get round to fixing that dirty data. So, people have misspelt guavas and grapes. And Excel knows this. It tells me that it can clean the data. So we can click the button or click that Clean Data button up here. I really love this. This works really well because it says that I've got some inconsistent data. Guavas probably should be replaced with guavas. Garps should be replaced by grapes. Let's just click Apply and click Apply. And there we are. We've cleaned our data up using that. Now, like I said, I work for Microsoft. I am contractually obliged to show you Copilot stuff, but Copilot in Excel is actually really good. I'm not going to show you the really, really cool thing, which is Copilot Agent, but even if I just go here and open up the Home tab and go to Copilot, I press that, there we go. I can say things like, what did customers think of our apples? And it's looked and it's found me some positive feedback. And it's made some key insights for me as well. So I'm not only able to get my data into Excel, I can start to get it to analyze the data for me. And for my last thing, really should have an Excel formula in a session. An Excel conference. Let's use the Copilot function to analyze all of these comments. And there we go. We've now classified all of these comments according to whether they are positive or negative comments. So, that's me over. My aim here was to get you excited about Fabric, make it clear that Fabric is not something new or scary. It's really an extension of Power BI. And if you know Power BI, Fabric is very easy to get going with. And if you know Power Query and Power Pivot and Excel, you know Power BI, you know a lot of cool stuff about Fabric. And you know, Excel, now in Excel on the desktop and Excel Online, makes it even easier for you to connect to that data stored in Fabric and analyze it in the way that you know and love in Excel. So, thank you very much. Go away, start playing with Fabric.